The stay-at-home emergency order in response to the COVID-19 pandemic are no longer in effect here in Southeast Texas, but dozens of residents are still dealing with the repercussions. KFDM's Angel San Juan is here to tell us about citizens confronted with citations. Angel, this is hard to believe.
Yeah, Greg, when we were under those emergency orders, many questioned if anyone was enforcing them. The orders that came from the governor, county judges, and mayors were aimed at stopping the spread of COVID-19. Through an open records request, we learned that in Beaumont, enforcement did take place, officers issuing 98 citations, each citation carrying a fine of $500 plus $76 in court costs. But will the city collect? Enforcement of the COVID-19 stay-at-home emergency orders made headlines when Beaumont Mayor Becky Ames became one of the most high-profile persons to possibly have violated one of the mandates when she entered a nail salon at the request of the owner and got her powdered nails removed. The Jefferson County District Attorney's Office dropped an investigation into the matter after an executive order from the governor allowed for the reopening of salons retroactively to April 2nd. At around the same time, a Beaumont police officer gave Nederland resident Justin Van Devender a citation for violating the emergency orders inside this HEB.
It makes it even worse that I'm issued a citation for shopping within 6 feet of someone who I rode in the car with to HEB. So it's not like I was standing next to some stranger breaking their rule.
Judge Craig Lively is the chief magistrate at Beaumont's Municipal Court. He admits these types of orders are a first for him, and he sees how enforcing them can pose a challenge.
Because the emergency orders were changing from time to time, and so the scope of what was covered changed, and then you're having a whole law enforcement agency have to just learn on their feet at that time. So it was what you expected in the field may have been different than what was talked about on paper.
Van Devender's case generated lots of publicity, and the city attorney's office eventually dismissed it.
I hope this sets precedent for everybody else that's received these kind of citations. I know my friend who was with me also received a citation, and I'm hoping hers gets dropped as well.
We filed an open records request with the city of Beaumont and learned that out of 98 total cases filed for violations of emergency orders, only 5 have been dismissed. One dealt with a medically disabled person who went inside a store with their spouse when shopping was restricted to 1 person per household. The Beaumont Police Department dismissed 2 of the cases, and 2 others were dropped because they were written under the governor's code. Even though the orders have been lifted, Judge Lively says there won't be a blanket dismissal of the remaining cases.
The way we're going to handle it is case-by-case basis. People may send in correspondence about it, and so if it's something they're asking to do with the case, I can forward that to the prosecutor. If they come in, whenever we get the doors fully reopened, when they come in, it's just like any other case, statutory, which is they have the right to plead guilty, no contest, not guilty. If they plead not guilty, we go through that process. If they plead guilty or no contest, we always listen to the circumstances.
Municipal court records show that so far, 3 people have pleaded not guilty, 4 entered pleas of no contest and requested payment plans. Only 1 person has pleaded guilty and paid the fine. Each citation is $500 plus $76 in court costs.
The things that are common right now are the people's ability to pay. Whenever you've been furloughed or laid off, all of a sudden you're not in the situation you used to be.
Coincidentally, Mayor Ames addressed fines at Tuesday's city council meeting.
And we not ever wanted to give anybody a fine. It's all about doing what needs to be done to control the disease, not to get money out of anyone.
And as for how the emergency orders were enforced in other areas of our community, Port Arthur Police Chief Tim Durso tells us his officers gave out 2 citations, and Jefferson County Sheriff Zena Stevens says her deputies made 1 arrest. Greg?
Thank you, Angel. That's pretty incredible. Well, there was some